"You clean up good," I'd said to Buck when he picked me up at my apartment. What I'd almost blurted out was he looked really fucking hot. So hot, I wanted to take his clothes off piece by piece and spend the afternoon exploring his naked body rather than attend the wedding of the guy I'd spent the last few years secretly in love with. Was that even true? Had I been in love with Cope, or was it just lust? Before Allie was in his life, I'd had plenty of fantasies in which he was the star. Porn star, if I was honest. But it was more than that. There'd been a time I believed I had a shot at a relationship with him. No point in going down that lane of memories on a day like today. Instead, I looked Buck up and down when I saw him doing the same thing to me. The man was every cowboy fantasy I'd ever had come to life. Add in his scruffy beard and long hair, and he was the exact opposite of Sumner Copeland. No less hot. Actually, more so. Way hotter. Unfortunately, one of the things Buck and Cope had in common represented the reason my hot cowboy fantasies would never come to life. They were both hopelessly in love with Allie Graham Mancuso, who, in about 15 minutes, would add Copeland to her name. Why had I agreed to even come to the wedding, especially with Buck? If I'd said no, I wouldn't be forced to watch the man I wished I'd had sex with at least once get married while standing next to the man I wished I could have sex with right now. And by right now, I meant drag him back to that sexy-as-fuck pickup he drove us here in and ride him like the cowboy he was. I clenched my thighs together when I felt Buck's hand brush against mine. That's all it took. One simple touch. Then he made it worse. He leaned over, put his mouth next to my ear, and whispered. It didn't matter what he said. I couldn't think straight enough to hear it anyway. I turned my head before he pulled away. His lips were close enough that I could kiss them, if only I had the balls to do it. Instead, I turned back in time to see Cope kiss the shit out of Allie when the minister pronounced them man and wife. Damn, I really didn't need to see that. What did you say? I whispered to Buck. He leaned into me like he had a minute ago. I said, you look more beautiful than the bride, Stella. Thank you, Buck, but way more beautiful. I could feel the heat of his breath on my neck. What in the hell was Buck doing? I couldn't do this again. I couldn't go down the same road of a hotter-than-hell younger guy flirting with me, to the point where I couldn't tell the difference between what was real and what was him just playing me. Excuse me. I brushed past him even before Cope and Allie had finished the recessional and hurried off in the direction of the house, hoping no one had noticed me leave on the side aisle. I raced into the restroom, wishing I could splash cold water on my face, but that would ruin the makeup it took me over an hour to put on, since I never wore it. Instead, I took several deep breaths. Buck the fuck up, Buttercup, I said to the mirror, shaking my head at the use of the name of the man who had me so flustered that I'd made a jackass out of myself by rushing away from the wedding. I squared my shoulders, took one last look in the mirror, and opened the bathroom door. Just outside, there he stood. His arm was raised, and he leaned against the door jamb. Hey, Stella, you and me need to talk. What about? Buck looked down at his phone. I, gotta leave. I'm real sorry to do this to you, but there's an emergency at home. Oh, of course. An emergency? Oh my God. Go. Don't worry about me. Is everything okay? Is there anything I can do? I mean, what kind of emergency? Buck gave me one of his lazy, panty-melting grins and put his hand on my shoulder. Slow down, darling. I'm sorry, I muttered, shaking my head. I never got nervous, and I never rambled. Not ever. I was a tough-as-nails journalist who'd never shied away from a story, no matter who or what it was about. I'd get in anyone's face, the most hardened criminals or the most corrupt politicians. Even Cope hadn't had the same effect on me that Buck did.